Good morning, everyone. We'll call this meeting of Pulaski County Fiscal Court to order. Certainly glad to see each one of you here today. This is where we do the business of the county, so certainly glad to see each one of you here. As we normally do, we'll have a moment of silence. Ask Mr. Renshaw to lead us in the pledge after the moment of silence. So does anyone have any prior concerns or concerns of the community that should be brought before us at this time?
I'd like to pray for all those folks up in Wisconsin, Illinois last night. And EF2 went whipping through there. Looks pretty bad.
In Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
There was a 11-year-old child involved in the car accident this morning that was pretty serious condition and flown out. So let's pray for him. I don't know the name or anything like that, but God does.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Seeing or hearing none, I'll ask everyone to bow their heads for a moment of silence, and then Mr. Renshaw will lead us in the pledge. Thank you. Everyone, please stand and face the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up, I'd like to ask anyone in the audience or on the sidebar, either way, if they have any citizens' comments to be brought before the committee. Approach the podium and state your name.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Wendy Goff. I live at 1265 Warner Road, Nancy, Kentucky, which many of you are very aware of my neighbor at 1241 Warner Road. I have a presentation. Do I need to just come up and hand them out, or just?
That'd be fine.
I want to make sure that Bobby Jones gets a copy of this, since I can't get him to return my calls or come out, because everybody keeps saying, hey, if you talk to Bobby Jones, he'll take care of it. And I keep saying, I've asked for an appointment. I have also asked for, I don't know who needs this, for him to call me back, and everybody tells me there's no way to make an appointment.
Thank you.
They take my name and number, and he doesn't call back. So, anybody else want a presentation? Sure, they send him a call them. Went to high school with Anthony. Anybody else? That's good for anybody in the audience want a copy of this? Take a look at it. So, before I go on, here, John Alexander, I've emailed you several times with no response, with no satisfaction. Before I go on further, I'm here to represent a group from Nancy and from Warner Road. Would you all stand? So I also have a list in this presentation of the people we've contacted and have gotten no resolution. If you all also as well have contacted anyone, would you raise your hand? All right. Okay, thank you very much. So, on the first page, I want to make sure we get an alignment for this meeting. Drug activity, selling, manufacturing, and distribution at 1241 Warner Road, which is exactly next door to my location, my property. I have asked for help from Hatfield's office, Marshall Todd's office, the sheriff's department, who's been out there probably 14 times in the past 12 months. Nothing's been done. So I put a little plat out here so everybody knows where I'm located. To the right, you can see that's the meth house, drug dealers that I have to put up with every day. Red circle, that's my house. And the driveway goes right next to their location. So I have to put up with harassment constantly from these people. There's an old county road to the left of me that the county no longer supports, which I love because then that's half my property now. They are using this road to sell drugs, to hide drugs, because they go down that road over to the property left of me, which was Kenneth Gossett, who is now deceased. They used the back of his property as backfields to hide this, which Suzanne Gossett, who lives there now, is fully aware and involved in all that. I've lived here for 20 years. Built the house and moved in May 2020, and I've never had an issue there until these people moved in. Next page, pictures of 1241 Warner Road. The owner is Linda Baker, who's been dead since July 2022. Since that time, I've had squatters living on that property. Constant rotation. So we have 3 to 4 people who live there constantly, but they have a constant rotation of squatters that come in and deliver drugs, live there, sell drugs along with them. There's been no electricity, no water, or septic in this location since January 2023. If y'all need to know how I know, Mark Atkins has been in that house because their septic doesn't work. They asked him to come fix it. There is no repairing it. Currently, Van Baker Jr., Gary Baker, Rachel Baker are the 3 names that I have that live there consistently. They don't own this property. They're squatting there. I have constant people living in tents, people living in boats. You'll see pictures of the boats. It's unbelievable. But I can't get anybody to address it. And there's constant activities and rotation of squatters. Next page. Here's the boats. Unbelievable. They have someone deliver them boats, not on trailers, and they have lined the property. We're up to 13 boats now. They've been living in the boats. People drop drugs off in the boats, and whoever's delivering these boats are delivering drugs in the boats. Unbelievable, isn't it? This whole story is unbelievable. You wouldn't think this would be happening in Pulaski County. I also added a little picture of the license plate of the gentleman who keeps bringing them in. I think he's either from Russell Springs or Columbia, in case anybody wants to look this guy up and see what's going on with him. Also, last boat that they brought in, I think 2 weeks ago, when it was the same day I came to the PVA to appeal my increase in property taxes. 3 boats sitting out in the road, in the right-of-way. I cannot exit my driveway without getting out in the road because it is blocking my means of egress. I can't get out safely. But on top of that, 2 cars cannot pass each other on the roadway. One has to stop while the other goes by because there's not enough room. Next page is a nice up-close picture of the latest boat, covered in a little bit of everything, got mold, everything on it. Also, it's hindering the mail lady from getting to my mailbox. It is putting her life in danger as well. I had that conversation with her just Saturday. Next page, manufacturing. This location has been stickered 2 times for manufacturing meth. People have been arrested, but they just keep getting out, and they just come in, they take the sticker off, and they just continue to live in the house at that time. Right now, nobody's living in the house because it's inhabitable. They have a shed next door to the house. That's where they've been manufacturing. That's where they're hiding the drugs. That's where they also hide the stuff that they're trading for. We'll get to that as well. Also, health issues going on. If you look at the next picture, there is a beautiful privacy fence. I paid $15,000 for to put around this location because their meth waste and their drug paraphernalia constantly is blowing into my yard or being thrown out in my yard. So I'm having to go out there with fentanyl protective gloves to pick up their waste. So I finally spent $15,000 to put that fence around two sides to keep it off my property. And also when we had that fence erected, I had to have an armed guard, that's right, armed guard out there due to the aggressive guard dogs that we've ended up having to shoot 4 of them and kill them because they're constantly on my property, and because of the death threats that we keep getting from these people. I have been told over and over that this is a civil matter between neighbors and not a criminal matter. I don't know when it changes to a criminal matter. I guess when someone gets killed is when it goes to a criminal matter. I'm not really sure. I'm not aware of all the laws, but I don't know how that can't be a criminal matter. More safety issues. They trade for drugs in addition to money. Constant rotation of junk, tools, ATVs, lawnmowers, appliances, etc. Often the sheriff's department is out there looking for ATVs or side-by-sides that's been stolen that they've got hidden up in the woods. They receive and burn other people's garbage. That's right. Isn't that nasty? They have open burn pits in the back that we have to constantly breathe that smoke. Constant, random, drugged out, zombie-like users walking up and down the road. I have pictures in here on a little bit later slide. Constant car traffic for buying drugs. They have been using my driveway, and the old county road next to me to sell drugs. We have told them over and over again, do not be on our property. But it constantly happens. Use of our Johnson Road for drug paraphernalia. Constantly having to clean up old used needles, along with other drug paraphernalia. They've told them they've had to run them off. They've run them off of their property as well. Squatters on other people's property. I have personally had to run tent people off of my property. I have a creek that runs right in the back, which is White Oak Creek, beautiful place. We've had to run people off that have been set up in tents. We have had to go down and clean where they have left duffel bags of stuff, containers of stuff. We go down and clean it up, and we have to run them off. More than once, we have had words with these people to stay off our property. I've already talked about use of Kenneth Gossett's farm to hide drugs. You know, I keep telling the sheriff's department if they go hang out on James Ryan's property across the creek, they can watch them go in and out. They go up and down my side road, go back in there, hide drugs. I don't know if they've ever taken that advice. Here's the best one of all, I think. I can't leave my house. I like to garden. I've got fruit trees. I can't leave my house without a gun on my person on my own property. If I step out to go get tomatoes to eat for supper, I carry a pistol on my side. Due to the constant drug activity next door, both sides. One of them selling, making, and the other side selling. I can't get anybody to do anything about it. Here's a good picture. Back, I think it was February when we had the weather come through and our electricity was out for about a week. We hear chainsaws over on the side of my property. Go up there. Van Baker, who is in the meth house, and Chad Molden, who is also very well known for meth and drugs, are on my property cutting trees. Cutting my cedar trees down. When they're confronted, Chad Molden says, oh, he's with Emergency Disaster Relief. He has a right to be on my property to cut these trees. So, we did what we were supposed to. We called 911. Took an hour and 15 minutes for somebody to show up. Of course, by that time, they're gone. And the deputy sheriff that finally showed up said he came from Fallbush. Hour and 15 minutes, I don't know why. Next page are the picture of the squatters living in the house next to me, in case y'all need to know who these are. Y'all know them. They've all been arrested over and over and over again. But nothing is done with them. Van Baker, Gary Baker, they're brothers, in case y'all need to know that. Chad Molden, I don't know where he come from, but he's out there all the time. Next page, pictures of people all night long, up and down Warner Road, walking, ATV, cars. Here's a car. Here's my do not private property sign. That's my sign. Here's a car. Here's a motorbike going down that side county road that they're not supposed to be on, but they go back there, do drugs. We've also had cars that get back in there and get stuck because it's not a maintained road. Next is more health issues. We're going to move on to the health issues of this house so everybody can see what we're having to live with and deal with out on Warner Road. Boats in the front yard, boats in the side yard, boats in the backyard. All this trash. That's not the worst pictures though, folks. It's not the worst part. Next page. Next page. They don't have any water. They don't have any sewage. But they have dug an open waste trough in the backyard that leaches underneath my fence, onto my property, onto my next door neighbor's property, and eventually into White Oak Creek. Yep, that's right. Open. You can see the wet. You probably can't see, but there's shit floating in it. They have a she shed, which now we call it the shit shed because they're using it as an outhouse. Since they can't use it in the house, they go out here and use this. This is what I'm living with. Not only the health issues, but mosquito issues, encephalitis issues, all of these issues that we're dealing with that nobody is addressing for us. All right. So just recently, somebody came out and told them they had to move boats. They had to clean up. So I have pictures of exactly what they did. They pushed all the boats to the backyard. They put a little bit of dirt over this open trough that is still open, still waste trough. They moved the she shed out. My question is, if they move the she shed out and they have no facilities, where are they going? They're still going in the backyard. It's still open. There was somebody there yesterday, I think maybe taking a picture of somebody in some slacks, a man. So hopefully they got the same pictures I did because they've not cleaned anything up. They just push it in the backyard. So nobody can see it. People can drive by, they can get by safely. But it resolved nothing. It resolved nothing. So on my last page, I have a list of those people I know that we have officially contacted and asked help for, that we've not gotten any resolution from. The only person that we have gotten support from is Senator Rick Girdler, who we finally contacted. And the same day that we contacted him, we start seeing movement. Start seeing people, coming out. The PCSO came out and told them they were going to have to move it because it's a safety issue. But what I'm asking of this group is, No matter who I contact, they say it's somebody else's responsibility. Marshall Todd told me they were gonna clean it up. They handed it off to Danny Maston. Danny Maston said, not under my purview. They're waiting on the county attorney to do something. County attorney's office tells me that they can't do anything until the sheriff's office arrests anyone. Sheriff's office deputies tell me they can't arrest anyone because they're protected by the narcotics division. I've had more than one deputy sheriff tell me that. So I'd like to know who's going to protect me, who's going to protect the people here, who's protecting us from the drug dealing, the meth heads that are constantly up and down the road, constantly on my property. Who is going to protect us? So since there's so many finger pointing back and forth, now that we're all in the room, I'd like to hear, what are y'all going to do to protect us? Now that everybody's here and there can't be you need to see sheriff, or you need to see Hatfield, or you need to see Todd, or Jason Turpin. I see he's not even here because I told him we were coming. Jason's been out. Jason used to cut the hay on my property. But I can't get any resolution. So I would like to hear from the county officials, what are you going to do for your constituents to protect us, to clean up this mess, to help us get this resolved? Now, anybody else got anything to say?
Yeah, we've even contacted Phil Pendleton.
Yeah. We've even gone to the news channels that hopefully it would be on TV to help us get a resolution. It's a shame we're having to go outside our county to try to get some help.
I would like to say one thing. When Bobby and them come out here, out there about 3 weeks ago, and went through the place, somebody notified it, them, and told him they were coming because he got off the property before they got there.
Let me tell y'all, it's in this. I have 13 cameras around my property. Not facing anybody else's property, facing my property. I see this activity in and out. I can tell you when they have a delivery of drugs. I can tell you the same cars that come out all the time. And let me tell you what, there's some pretty nice cars that's coming buying these drugs. Constantly. I see the patterns. Listen, my job is data and trends. I see it all day long. Looking at these cameras and the footage that's on these cameras, it's constant. That day, 20 minutes before the sheriff's department come out, Van gets on his ATV, he takes his little black bag that has all his money and his drugs in it, and he leaves. After they get there, he comes back down the road, and down the side road, my side road, which is half mine, to the back of the property. I pretty much just say, Sheriff's Department, there ain't nothing you can do. So I'm serious. I would like to know, since everyone's here together, except for Jason, what can you all do for us to make sure this is resolved? Coming out once and making sure they move the boats around and put a little bit of dirt on the waste trough is not going to resolve the problem, because they're just going to do it again. Who would like to? Who from the county would like to?
Well, I'll start
make
out,
this? Thank you.
and I categorically reject your assertion that my office has done nothing to help you. We have talked to you numerous times, and as you noted, the boats are going off the road, right?
Yep.
That was us.
Mm-hmm.
We got that done.
Thank you. I appreciate
We got
that.
that done for
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
So I categorically reject your pointing a finger at my office,
Mm-hmm.
because we have done everything under the law that we can to assist you.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as Danny Maston goes, I'm going to defend him.
Is Danny Maston here?
We have an ordinance, ma'am.
Thank you. Whoever Danny
Ma'am.
Maston is, he's probably.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm speaking to you right now.
Oh, I'm speaking as well. Yeah, go
I know.
ahead.
Do you want to listen to me or not?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay,
But
thank
Can we
you.
not have a conversation?
I was trying to.
Okay. Proceed.
We have an ordinance in Pulaski County
Mm-hmm.
that allows for cleanups of property of this type if it's in a subdivision. The ordinance applies only to subdivisions. Don't ask me why. That ordinance was in place when I took over and when many on this court took over. That's the way it reads. Danny contacted us about that. We have to follow the law. The law says if it's not in a subdivision, we have, the 109 Board, Solid Waste has no jurisdiction over this property. I understand in the past, this past week that the EPA has been out there. They've been referred. We helped get them out there, as did Danny Maston. Who else has been out? Somebody else, another health department. Health department's been out there. I don't run the health department. I don't run the state EPA. I don't run the sheriff's department. I don't run his department. I didn't get elected. I don't run the jail. I didn't get elected to do all. My office has done what we can do to help you, and we've had some success in that. But I'm not going to violate the law just because you want something done that can't be done under the law. You know, there may be things that people outside my office can do, and that's between you and them. But I'm not going to sit here and let you criticize my office when we've talked to you numerous times, and we have done everything under the law that we can to help you. And we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to do that. And I get it. I mean, this is disgusting.
It is.
It is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I would never defend how these people are living or what they're doing. I wouldn't want to live next door to them either. I wouldn't want them around me. I don't know how people can live like that. But it's on private property, and if they want to live that way, they can. If there's some other entity that can come in and deal with the wastewater runoff and that sort of thing, then I hope you get some relief from those agencies that have jurisdiction over those kind of things. And I feel for you guys. I wouldn't want to. I don't know how people can live like that. They're living like animals, and I feel for you. But I've done all I can to this point to help, and we'll continue doing all we can as a county attorney's office to help you. And you can keep contacting us. I don't in any way mean for this to discourage you from continuing to let us know. And we'll tell you when we can help you. And if we can't help you, we'll try to explain to you why. And I think that's all my office can do.
Thank you. I have
Yes, ma'am.
contacted your office 2 times for this particular situation. I don't know if anyone else has. Usually, through Tom, who has been very supportive.
Right?
Love Tom.
Yep.
I appreciate Tom.
Tom works for me.
I know.
So he's.
But I also get responses, and it's probably the proper response. Can't do anything till the sheriff's department.
We're not police officers. We
Right.
don't charge people. That's law enforcement.
Yep.
That's the way the system works.
So until today, we were not aware that your office are the ones who contacted EPA or whoever, whatever. Thank you, we appreciate that.
We're trying to
Appreciate
help.
Danny
We
Maston
wanna
for
help.
being honest as well.
Yeah, we want to help.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny came to us, and again, we have to work within the confines of the law. And I worked really hard to get a bar license, and as much as I like and grew up out at Nancy and love the people that live out there, I'm not going to put my bar license at risk doing something unethical or illegal. But we'll help any way we can within the confines of the law. And like I said, this is not meant to discourage you from contacting us. You can any of you can keep doing that. We'll talk to you, we'll listen to you, and we'll tell you what we can and can't do for you. And if we can't do it, we'll try to explain why, and we hope that you will give us deference as an office and as a profession. We're not defending these people. Trust me. I would never defend this type of conduct in this situation. I would never do it. If you were my mother standing there, I would still say, Mom, this is all we can do to help. We've done all we can to this point. So
Okay.
thank you.
Anybody else?
I want to start by saying you gave a great presentation, and I'm glad you appeared to show the court, and eventually it'll get to the newspaper, what is going on. And I will speak on behalf of the county. I've been there many, many times. In fact, I was there this week and last week also. Went down your driveway and the neighbor's driveway, took pictures of my own, and I know it's a sad situation for all the neighbors out there. I know most of the people sitting right there that came from Warner Road or the surrounding vicinity.
Yep.
I will speak that you are not the only one in the county. We have several places like this in the county that need to be something done to it. But as our county attorney says, we are restricted to what we can do. I would like to change that. I'd like to go in and just push the house over and clean it up. That's what should be done with
Yep.
people living in this kind of mess. As Martin has said, why would they want to live in that? It's something going on in their head, and we know what that is. But as far as us going in and pushing it over, we're not allowed to do that. I would love to come in and clean your place up, the neighbor's place, but we are constrained and restricted by the law. But we're well aware of yours, plus we've got about 6 others right now in the county that need to be the same thing. And we're going to try to work on something to be able to do more aggressive cleanup going forward.
Yeah, so anyone else?
Mark has something.
Or, change that, or we're gonna change this to a subdivision.
He asked if anybody wants to speak, if I may.
Yeah, it's coming up.
You know, this is on Facebook Live, I guess, so if you want everybody out there to hear what you've got to say, well, come
Mark,
up,
would you
come
care-
up and find you a microphone. But the question was, what could be changed about the current ordinance? And it's a very touchy and complicated situation because we live in a county, third largest area in the state, third largest county area-wise in the state. Everybody's view of what is distasteful to them and what needs to be cleaned up can vary. You know, you drive down the road and you see something, doesn't look bad to you. I drive down the road and I see that same thing, and I'm like, why doesn't somebody clean that up? So, again, you're dealing with private property. That's the problem in having an ordinance that allows county officials to go into private property is defining within that law what justifies a nuisance or justifies getting the county involved to clean it up. Some things are kind of black and white, like the county can go in and mow lots on the subdivision where the grass has gotten, I mean, we can all look at grass and say, well, that's way too tall, that needs to be cleaned up. And most of the time, they're abandoned properties, the bank's got them in foreclosure or something like that, so. But I don't know, years ago, again, before any of us, the fiscal court decided to enact this ordinance, and, but I know Judge and I have talked about it in the past, and I have with some of the magistrates about, is there something we can do to expand this ordinance to make it available to the entire county? And I think the answer is yes, but boy, it's going to be difficult to define exactly what is going to be a nuisance to everybody. This, to me, this would pass the test, yeah.
Cut and dry evidence.
Yeah, I agree, that should pass the test. Whatever any changes would look like, they should fit within that for sure.
Yeah, so there's a difference between what everybody thinks, everybody's differences of what should be clean and what's not clean. It's cut and dried when it's a safety and health issue.
Well,
See, the health department right now, you can't build a new house and get electric and water without a legal septic and all that.
yep, yeah.
And I mean,
Are there not laws against vagrancy and squatters?
That's on private property. You don't have any enforcement rights on that property. You don't own it. The county doesn't own it.
Nobody
Unless
owns
the
it.
owner
The
of the
lady who owns
property,
it is dead.
unless the owner of the property comes in, calls law enforcement and says, these people are trespassing on my property, but you can't do that because it's not your property.
That's right.
You have no standing, so to speak, in the legal parlance. You have no standing
But
to,
who has a standing
Pro-
when
property
there's no-
owner.
The property owner is dead.
somebody owns that property. I mean, somewhere, heirs, somebody owns that property. I don't know who it is, but, and nobody ever wants to hear this, but I always have to say it. There are civil laws that you can employ, if you want to go talk to private counsel, where you can sue someone for a nuisance to you and to all of you out there. If this is a nuisance, you can all band together, you can go talk to a private attorney, and you can file a lawsuit, and if you win that lawsuit, you could potentially, the court could order the property sold. So it would get it out of whosever hands it's in right now, and somebody could buy it and clean it up and all of that. So there is that avenue that you could pursue if you wanted to pursue that avenue. And I would suggest that you talk to private legal counsel. Most of them will talk to you without charging anything, and you can show them this same presentation and ask them what your rights are as far as, it being a nuisance to all of the property owners and residents in that area.
How can we find out if she had a will that to anybody?
That kind of stuff would be filed downstairs in the county court clerk's office. If there's been a probate estate opened, that would be over in the circuit court clerk's office.
So any of our kin folks might be able to come in and say, well, I don't want it, but we'll sell it, force it to sell. If a man can get some.
Correct. If you find out who the heirs are, and again, I don't want to give you legal advice, but that's for a private attorney to do. But if you were able to find out who all the heirs are, and you could contact them, and if they can't agree on how to dispose of the property, anybody can open an estate for somebody. So somebody could open an estate and join all the heirs, give them notice, and the court could order the property sold and distribute the proceeds. Money's pretty easy to divide versus stuff. So you could pursue that route also. But again, that's something you're going to have to talk to a private attorney about. But there are avenues other than the criminal laws, or ordinances. There are other avenues that you might be able to pursue to get that property out of the owner's hands and get it into someone's hands who wants to clean it up and make it into something.
You're showing the present owner is Linda Baker, but she's deceased. But I've noticed most of the people that are living there are Bakers. Do you think they are some of the heirs?
Yes.
Yeah, they're two sons.
See, that's our problem. It's it's probably their property, and they're living on their own mom's property or some of their relative.
But if she didn't have a will, that means anybody kin to her's got a.
Well, up to a point, yeah, to a point. And you won't know that. You won't know that until you talk to some of the relatives and find out, okay, did she have kids? Do they have kids? It just kind of flows downhill or sideways or whatever.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
To address what's been said here about the sheriff's department, it sounds to me like there's a lot of complaints about the sheriff's department, but there's also been a lot of times that she said that we made arrests. One member of this group right here, I won't call him out because I don't want to call out somebody that called and tipped us off and told us, and within the last couple of weeks, tipped us off about the drugs. Within days, there was an arrest made out of a car that left there, and we done a search warrant in the house and found nothing. They're saying we left. The implications that they was tipped off, I don't know where that comes from. I have no control of that. Like we're going to tip them off before we come out there. It makes no sense. The sheriff's department will do all we can do. We're woefully understaffed. I've made no secret about that. This is a huge county. This is not the only road in Pulaski County that I have to deal with. The main thing I was wanting to do was, Mr. Hatfield done took care of it, was the squatters, the nuisance, the people in there, and the dirty and the filth and all this stuff. I just want to let you know the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office has nothing to do with that. I'm not going to violate my trust and violate my duties as the sheriff, which doesn't even apply to the duties of the sheriff if people really knew what the duties of the sheriff is. There's no drug activity due to the duty of the sheriff. That's something that the sheriff's office partakes in and does. Just recently, we went from 3 detectives down to 2 detectives in the narcotics division. I hated to do that, but I just made Captain Kegley my captain over patrol because I needed to fill that position because that left. So I'm working on trying to get more people back in narcotics. But at the end of the day, I've heard nothing to say about no other agencies just the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office, which is not a duty of the sheriff to begin with. I, as your elected sheriff, promise you, I will do all I can to enforce the laws of Pulaski County. But that's not a duty of the sheriff to go out here and get drug. Duties of the sheriff, I can go over them if we need to. What I would like to do, though, instead of getting up here and venting, is to meet with this group. If they would hang around after court today, I would like to meet with them downstairs, and I'll talk to them about this issue. But to just let them know, she's the one that made numerous statements that the sheriff's office is being called out there, and the sheriff's office have made numerous arrests, and nothing's been done. Well, if we're making arrests, then something's been done. But we're not going to arrest people for something we can't arrest them for. We're only going to arrest them. Talking about manufacturing drugs in Pulaski County, I will never say that nobody's not manufacturing drugs. But it's been well over 10 years since there's been drugs manufactured in Pulaski County, to my knowledge. They don't make meth here. They still buy meth, and it comes across the borders and selling meth. The selling and trading, 100%, that's still going on. Yes, we've been out there numerous times looking for stolen property, because that's what the drug dealers do. They take in stolen property, they sell stolen property. But I just want you all to know, as an elected official on my part, that we'll do all we can. The last point I want to get across to is not getting hold of me. Last week I was on vacation, nobody probably cares, but the first vacation I had since last fall, since last September. It's the first vacation I had. So if you try to call me last week, I can try to get hold of you. But I can show anybody at any given time my call log. Every call that comes in to me is attempted to be called back or returned. Every single call. So to say I'm unapproachable, when I'm in this office 5 days a week, at minimum 5 days a week, to say that they can't get a hold of me, that's just simply not the case. I got a call a couple weeks ago from a member of this group. 2 or 3 days later, we made an arrest, and we done a search warrant, and that's what we could do. But like the judge said, this is a big county. That's not the only drug place we have in Pulaski County. Unfortunately, we got to work on other places. So I just want to tell you my side.
Any other comments?
Thank you. I don't want to go tit for tat, but like I said, I was here for PVA 2 weeks ago, been 13 days ago. They asked, have you talked to Bobby Jones? I said, no, but I'll stop by on my way out. So I stopped at the sheriff's department 2 weeks ago, asked to meet with you or how I can get an appointment. The lady behind the screen said, well, it was lunchtime. She said, there's not anyone here at this point. I don't know how to get you an appointment with Sheriff Jones, but I can take your name and your number and have him call you. I haven't gotten a call back. Captain Kegley, I think his name is. Captain Kegley called, left a message. I called him back, and 13 days later, I'm still waiting for someone to call me back. All I can talk about is facts. Like I said, I work from data and I work from facts. It's no. So I guess my next question, as how I closed it, is what are the next steps? How long do we have to wait? Because as you saw, my pictures, they didn't do anything but push everything around to the back of the house. How long do we need to wait before we complain again? Who do we complain to? Who is my contact, or our contact, to make sure we stay on top of this until we can get something done about the safety and health? That's all we're asking. What's our next steps?
Are you in contact with the health department?
I have not personally been in contact with the health department.
Okay,
Because
when
Danny in his email says that he's contacted them. Thank you very much. Rick Girdler, as you can see on the last page, as soon as we contacted Rick Girdler, we started getting some movement with the health department out that day. So if this is not the correct form to get something addressed, we would like some advice and guidance on what is the correct form.
At this point, I mean, it looks like everybody's been contacted. The state EPA's been contacted, and they are usually pretty good. They, I mean, I don't know what Rick Girdler's got, but the health department, the state health, that's your avenues. The EPA, and as far as the government side of things, we're doing it sounds like we're doing everything we do based on the law. So basically, if they're squatting all over the yard and stuff like that, that's a big health issue.
It is. Yeah.
And if the trash is all over there, that's probably a rat issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is all health department issues. And, I mean, as far as the government side of things, we're doing the best. We've done everything, it sounds like, that we could possibly do. I don't know what else we can do as a government. But as health issues are done through the health department, the state health department, I would continue contacting Rick Gerler. I'm glad he got the state involved. I know Danny always, when I have a problem, I call Danny. And Danny always tells me the same thing. He says, I'll get a hold of the state, EPA. So those are the issues you got as far as the property needing cleaned up. There's nothing we can do as county because it's private property. So, and that's the big key. And like Martin said, pursue civil aspects.
So
That might
what's
be
the
able to happen.
avenue to get, because I've been told by county officials that eventually this property can be condemned.
That would be through the health department.
Okay.
The county can't legally condemn a piece of property. It has to go through a court.
Okay.
And I didn't mention it, but you mentioned the dogs. I saw the dog thing in here. You mentioned that you'd had to shoot for them. I think hasn't my office charged Gossett lady
Yes,
with the dogs?
Suzanne Gossett.
Yeah, so
I kept feeding them.
yeah, so I
put
think we
on
charged,
Pictures, videos.
we charged her multiple times, I think.
Yeah,
And that's
so-
the problem. I mean, you don't get one charge and they never do it again. You know, it's a recurring thing, and nobody's going to go to prison for letting a dog run at large. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Yep.
And so you charge them, and you get a little fine out of them, and for most of us, that would be a deterrent. We wouldn't want to keep getting charged and drug into court, but these people aren't us.
They're not normal.
You know, they're not us.
100%,
Right.
Tom supported us.
Right.
The dog
Yep,
catcher department was
Yep.
really supportive.
right. And then I
That
think
as
we
well.
also charged the tree cut. You had pictures of the tree folks in here that trespassed. I think we drafted criminal complaints on
I
those as
put
well.
criminal complaints. I don't know if they've ever been.
I don't know if they've been,
arrested,
right, I don't know either.
charged.
But I know we drafted criminal complaints, and they've been signed by the sheriff's, by Deputy Goff. So, again, we've done everything, and we'll continue to do what we can do within the confines of the law to help and assist.
Judge Todd, I know you mentioned earlier that you all might be willing or to look into something like possibly a new ordinance or an enhanced ordinance on what you already have that just covers subdivisions.
Yes.
Is the court willing to look forward? And I know that and maybe with a caveat that if there's health issues like the open sewage that you're dealing with and that kind of thing, is that something that the court might be willing to look at doing an enhanced ordinance in addition to, or even a new ordinance?
That would be up to the court, but we will certainly look at that in the future, in the near future. Because as I say, we've got several properties in the county now that need to be cleaned up, that are health issues.
And there are some that, I mean, this is if you put whatever terminology we want to use in a dictionary, this picture would be beside of it, right? I mean, everybody in this room would agree this is the type of property that needs to be addressed. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, though, that if the court starts looking at an ordinance, there's going to be a lot of people out in the county that are going to show up and talk to their magistrates and say, wait a minute, is this going to apply to us? You know, we've got some junk farm equipment, and we've got, this, and we've got that. And it's like one time a few years ago, they were trying to look at an ordinance about keeping dogs on a leash, and all the hunting people came in, and that wound up not getting off the ground. And I'm not judging whether it should or shouldn't have. I'm just saying, when you start putting laws into place that can potentially affect a number of different people, and they don't, on private property, and they don't think they're doing anything wrong, that's why we don't have planning and zoning here probably, is because it's the government telling people what they can and can't do on their own property. And that's, in the big picture, that's the problem with these type nuisance ordinances.
When I first came into office, there was an issue with the city of Somerset wanting to annex part of the county. And the one thing people told me is they don't want people messing with their property. If they got annexed into the city, then you had to do zoning and all the rules that are combined in there. People in the county do not like that. I live in the county. I don't want anybody messing with my property. You live in the county. If we make an ordinance for one, we have to make an ordinance for everybody.
100%.
So unless we have the majority of the county residents say, okay, let's do this, the odds are it's probably not going to get done. And I'm being truthful with you. I'm not
Yep.
saying that. I'm just letting you know the situation. People in the county do not like their properties messed with. So, and if we pass an ordinance, we have to pass it for everybody, not just one person. So just to let you know
100%. I
that.
have lived in Somerset, Nancy, my whole life. My parents lived here. My father had a business downtown for years. And I agree. I don't want people telling me what I can use my property for in Nancy, but I also don't want other people's waste encroaching on my property. It's the health and safety. I remember when you tried to get the dog on a leash out in the county. My husband, rest his soul, threw a fit because we had a basset hound. He didn't want his basset hound outside on a leash because we live out in the county. I agree.
We heard
But
from
there
thousands
are-
of people like that.
There are verbiage that can be put in the ordinances that protects everyone, health and safety.
So, I mean, the biggest thing I see is there's other avenues to go as far as civil court and stuff like that, that you can use to help mitigate the issues besides health department and EPA and stuff like that. And I just don't, unfortunately, just don't see a way where we can pass an ordinance that's just going to affect one property or 6 properties or
Listen,
anything
I'm not
like
asking you
that.
to pass an ordinance to
Well, that's what
affect
we
just
would
one
have to
property.
do.
We're asking you to look at passing an ordinance that has caveat, a rider, if it is affecting health and safety, then you have a right, we have a right to do something.
The county does not have any law enforcement say so. I mean, we pass an ordinance, it has to be adhered to through Martin's office,
Yeah.
through the jailer
Yeah,
or
we
the
don't have a
sheriff's
problem with
office
that.
and all
Y'all
that.
can, whatever
But
process
the
has to be
problem
done.
is, what you're not understanding, if we do that for 1 or 6 properties, we have to do it for everybody in the whole county. And then you're gonna get everybody in the whole county upset because we're messing with their rights on their property.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a catch-22 situation.
And
So,
the sewer part, that's through the health department.
yeah.
And there's already a law that you can't dump raw sewage on the ground. But the health
The
department.
health department can, and it's been done to one property that I know of in my district. The health department can notify that property owner that they have to clean up that system.
They have-
So just putting dirt on it's not cleaning it up.
Nope. It's not.
So I'd be right back at the health department saying, this is not cleaning up the property. So if it was next to my house, I would be pursuing every means, including civil, that I could do. But as far as the county being able to do anything at this moment with that property, we can't.
Right,
So,
yeah, so we've
so
established that.
just, all I'm saying is just pursue the health department issue, pursue the state solid waste EPA issues. And if that doesn't work, then you have to think about going civil.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You're
Just to respond, you don't understand, because you say we don't understand what you're saying. You don't understand what we're saying.
I
Is
understand
we
what you're
would
going
like-
through.
We would like, as Marshall said he would, you all will discuss and possibly pursue a rider or a caveat or an addition to the ordinance that will protect us all. Thank you.
All righty, thank you.
Any other comments to be brought before the court? Seeing none, we will move to America 250 presentation.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As America celebrates its 250th birthday, we proudly remember Ralph Cundiff, a son of our community whose well-known Cundiff family name has long been a part of Pulaski County's history. He answered freedom's call during World War II, and today he rests on the shores of Normandy, where so many heroes gave their lives for liberty. Though buried far from the hills of Kentucky, his legacy lives on in the freedoms we cherish every day. His final resting place stands as a solemn reminder that America's blessings were secured by ordinary men who performed extraordinary acts of valor. As we commemorate America 250, we honor Ralph Cundiff with gratitude, reverence, and the enduring promise that his sacrifice and the legacy of the Cundiff name will never be forgotten. So a big round of applause for our America 250 recipient posthumously, Mr. Ralph Cundiff. We'll get Martin up here up front and all the magistrates around us. And Mr. Cundiff, I'll have you stand in the middle here. Hold that out so Carla can get a good picture of it. There.
Ralph was my great aunt up here. He's a relative of mine. He was my great aunt.
Grandmother's brother.
Thank you, Mr. Cundiff. Thank you, everyone.
Fiscal court is a copy of the cemetery that my Uncle Ralph is buried in Normandy, France. Gave his life. Take an old frame. I like to give this flag in memory of all the fellows that gave their lives in Pulaski County. This is in memory of my uncle Ralph that gave his life.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
First item of business would be approve the minutes from the last court meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Strunk, second by Mr. Wilson. Any comments on the minutes, the changes, or anything? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. New business, open e-cigarettes from the bid from the jail. Anthony, we got the bid right here. You can just start talking.
Looks like this is from Crossbar. Homo LLC, DBA Crossbar Electric Cigarettes. There's several documents in here.
Yeah, I think there's quite a bit of rules that we have to go by. They have to be,
As far as, looks like there's one price sheet though, 24 milligram tobacco and 24 milligram menthol e-cigarettes, $3.89 each for the product, plus $1.50 for the Kentucky vapor tax on e-cigarettes for a total of $5.39 per e-cigarette. We have 9 milligram nicotine pouches available in blueberry, wintergreen, and ice. The pack containing 20 individual pouches or $3.95 each plus
your all's approval, I like to review that, make sure it meets the specifications and
Motion
come
to
back
approve for
at,
review.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Strunk to approve for review, second by Mr. Renshaw. Any questions on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next up would be to approve the Pulaski County Park Security Agreement. We had this before us the last meeting, I think, and county attorney has written out an agreement I think you have a copy of it in front of you, and would ask for approval of this security agreement at the court today. It's with Woodstrong Security.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Strunk, second by Mr. Wilden. Any comments or questions on this?
Yeah, what was the per hour rate?
It's $33. Thought I had it. I've got it on mine, I didn't have it on yours.
No, okay.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up would be something that's not on the agenda. It's a resolution for House Bill 900 grant. I've got an email on it from the state. It's to pay for any cost overrun on the FLAP grant out in the 4th District. It was $1.4 million, and then this one today is from House Bill 900. It's $295,800.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Renshaw and a second by Mr. Strunk. Any questions on this?
Yeah, I just want to give credit to Senator Rick Gerler for assisting us on receiving this grant.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up, I do have another item that's come in before, after we put the agenda out. It was to reappoint 2 members to the Western Pulaski County Water Board. They have those names in front of you. They expired at the end of July. Mr. Bruce Gover and Mr. Steve Davis.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilden. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Renshaw. Any comments or questions on this? I think we have a good board working in Western Pulaski County. They're doing a lot of work. We're doing a lot of pipeline right now, getting ready to build another new tank. So I've talked to several members of the board and also the management, and they feel like it's probably the best board they've had, and it's getting a lot of things moving forward. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up would be department reports. Emergency management, Mr. Ms. Mason, you're on a two-minute time limit.
Morning, all. I just wanted to bring you all up to speed. The process for the Building Resilient Communities, or BRIC grant, has been sent up to the state. So we are now on a list. We are competing nationally because our grant went over $2 million. We're now in the $2 million to $20 million category. We ultimately ended up asking for a grant of a little over $4.8 million. This grant is going to be to cover the construction of tornado shelters in various locations around the county. Myself and staff, and along with Somerset Community College, put a lot of hours into this, and it is my hope that we will ultimately be successful on that, and we will we'll receive that grant. If that happens at that time, then I'll come back to you folks and ask you to let me hire a grant manager who will be paid for by the grant. So once nothing will come out of the county's coffers on that, and that will be an individual that will actually come forth and manage the overall construction from start to finish, and then we're done with that. We'll, at the end of the day, we'll have the ability to better protect our citizens. So, any questions about what's going on with the BRIC? And then the other item I had this morning was, obviously, we had some fairly significant weather last week. Praise to the folks, the rescue squad, SRT, Parkersville Fire Department, a whole group of agencies all came together as one unified command. This is something that we've been working to try to get done for a lot of years, where we get all the command staff in one place and we make unilateral decisions and get stuff done. That's primarily what my office has been working for a really long time. This was really a good effort on everybody's part. National weather came down the next day to hours to get there. Ended up being straight line winds, so it was not a tornado, despite what you might have read on Facebook. It was not. But 70-mile straight line winds will make a heck of a mess. And And so we took care of that fairly efficiently. And I feel real good about the partnerships we've built with those agencies as well. Any questions about anything that happened last week as far as the storms? Okay, that's all I got for you this morning.
I want to make a comment on the brick
Sir?
grant we've applied for, 4.8 million. It's a big one. I've talked to some members of the college that have helped Chris put it together, and I think I feel real confident in getting that. It's going to be a monster grant for the county, printing tornado shelters.
That is correct, sir.
It's going to be concrete printed, and if we do it, we're going to be setting an example for the state and most of the nation doing these things. So we feel really confident, the college is real confident that we're going to get it. They said they have been asked to apply, and usually when they're asked to apply, that it is successsul.
I didn't want to get
Feel
into all
good
that,
about it.
sir. You gave me 2 minutes, so
Well,
I limited my
I took a
comments.
minute of it.
I would like to say that it's a 75-25 grant, but the county does not need to worry about having to come up with, having to write a check for $1.1 million. This is going to be an in-kind grant, and we worked really hard on that. I thank Jeff over there for helping me figure out how we were going to do that. It's basically going to be, we're going to be able to use the equipment we already own and the workers we already employ to come up with matching funds. So this is nothing that's going to cost the county anything other than time and effort and training.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any comments or questions?
That's it?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next up will be the road department. Corey, you have a road list?
Just the road list, but before we get to that, I just want to thank the court and the judge. The storms that come through, he opened the compost site for free for the public, and that's huge. I mean, you're looking at $50 a load for a contractor, $25 for a resident, and that's probably saved the residents of Slate Ranch, thousands. I know of one family that lost 10 pine trees. That's a lot of money. So that's a good thing for the court that we could, we're able to do that. But that's a side point. But the road list. That's all I need.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson to approve road list.
Second.
Second by Mr. Strunk. Any comments or questions?
I do have a comment, just to let you know on the road list that we do have more blacktop that's, we're gonna be putting down. I guess there's 3 roads in Mike's districts on here, Bonnie Blue, I can't even pronounce, what's the
Brett
other
Butler
one?
and Scarlett's.
And Scarlet Way. And then in my district, we're going to finish up the remaining 2 miles of Piney Grove Road. That's been a multi-year project to get that blacktop. That's going to get done. I know, I think we talked this morning, and all those roads that was granted under the LARC grant program are now going to start getting work done. So we're going to see a lot of blacktopping here in the next month or so, probably, hopefully, before it turns cold. So as far as the Bullhouse Ridge project, we're just waiting on one more signature from the state, and then we can advertise for bids. And that's going to take 21 days to bid out, and after that, hopefully, we can get that going before winter time too. So that's the update on all the blacktop that's going on.
Any other comments? All in favor of the road list, passing the resolution on the road list, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. Next up would be your finance report. Ms. Grissom.
I'm looking for approval for the June bank reconciliations.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw, second by Mr. Whildon. Any comments or questions on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And then I've also got the annual fiscal year 2026 treasurer settlement that I need approval on.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw to approve the treasurer's settlement. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Strunk. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
as well as the June's monthly treasurer's settlement report.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Wheeldon,
Second.
second by Mr. Renshaw. Any questions on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Right, last but not least, in front of you guys, you have the 2026 bank account listing.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw on the account listing. Do I have a second? We're not going to go to executive.
As far as that is concerned, there's a couple of accounts, like for 911 and all that are multiple bank accounts that are we going to be,
We closed those.
those are closed now. Okay.
Did I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wheeldon. All in favor, say aye. You opposed? Motion passes. Any other items to be brought before the court today? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Wilson and a second by Mr. Renshaw. All in favor, say aye, and we will stand adjourned. We will not go into executive session that is on here, that's been marked out. There will be a safety meeting immediately after this court adjourns.